at you all the way from our dorm rooms to your conference rooms. Sabo, Lee, and Dan Teeman here are two college students who are ready to talk to you guys about business and lifestyle from our personal experiences.
Each week we'll discuss about our lifestyle as college students as well as our tips and strategies starting in the business field. We'll bring on successful entrepreneurs in the millennial generation to share with us their journey and how they got started and where they're at now.
Our goal is to help you students, millennials, and entrepreneurs gain inspirational advice by our spontaneous conversations and meaningful guidance. Let's dive on in.
Welcome back to episode 16 of Dorm Rooms and Conference Rooms podcast. We have another special guest on for you guys. It's actually a guest I've known since high school. But anyway, Saba, how are you today?
Doing good. So excited for our guest today. He's going to give some great insight on his business, so I'm so excited.
Yeah, guys, so our guest today is Andrew Walker. Andrew and I have been friends since high school. I've been in plenty of classes with him in high school. We actually played on the football field together. Well, he was a star running back, and I was a kicker. And Andrew now actually studies is getting his master's from the University of Indianapolis, where he still plays football today. He has a couple more years of eligibility, so he's going to play that out, get his master's in the meantime. But in this all, he actually started a business out of it. He started a clothing line called Cours Clothing. And it has the whole idea and the whole movement to follow your course, to do what you want to do in life and don't be afraid to do it. But Andrew, can you give us a little more background into yourself, how you got started doing course and, touch on different things?
Definitely. I appreciate that. For me personally, it was just like most people in college, it's a transition. I was from going from Chicago, coming to Indianapolis, and from that point, just the transition of me playing football and getting redshirted, not being able to play, and then the second year, putting in the work, and then actually getting a medical redshirt. So because of the injury, and from that point, I was just, I was almost depressed, going into like a dark place, and I needed to figure out a path because I was doing things that was questioning my moral and ethical values, and I was doing things that wasn't doing things that were pertaining to myself as who I am and who my parents brought me up to be. And so from that point, I figured out a formula, which was through positive thinking. So from positive thinking, I was able to create a formula that I've heard people talk about all the time. Through just the positive thinking and mindset, I was able to accomplish a lot of different things. And that segued into me being able to come out with a clothing line, almost an expression and a movement in a way that was innovative and a way that people can relate to. And that's pretty much like what got me into it.
That's awesome. I love how you started a clothing line because that's something that I really love. I am a fashion major, so I know in the future I want to start my own clothing line. But how did you actually start it? What did you do for logistic wise starting a business? Is this all e-commerce? How did you deal with inventory and stuff like that?
Well, for me personally, I came up with this idea about, I want to say 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, and I started off a prototype. So I literally went online and, I narrowed it down to the name that I wanted. And then from that point, I kind of figured out what kind of logo I wanted, and I had to pay to use the actual logo. So from there, it was just a prototype. I would go around and kind of tell people, hey, this is going to be my clothing line in the future. Is it something that you would be interested in? I would tell them the concept and all that. And so then a year and a half later, from that point, I was dealing with a manufacturer. So when I decided to go ahead and launch it, I was dealing with a manufacturer out here in Indianapolis. And really, it just started with me getting the inventory, getting the big boxes, and then from there going door to door pretty much. And whomever is interested in the vision, then I will be selling to that person if they even contributed, financially.
That's awesome. Actually, I had no idea that you went door to door selling your shirts or doing different things like that. So is that kind of how you were marketing it to begin with, or how were you marketing in college? Were you just going up to your friends, family, posting on Facebook? What was your main marketing tools that you were utilizing?
So this is what happened. I'm big into social media. We all, we're pretty hip into that. That's this generation. So like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And so from then, I literally started. I created a new page. Once I put in the order, I created a new page. And from that point, I was doing photo shoots with the t-shirts. Let's start off with men and women's t-shirts. And so from that point, I had about 50. I had 50 shirts, and I had 50 names that I knew like these individuals would go ahead and contribute to the brand and stuff like that. Though about 70% of those people didn't end up contributing, and those 70% were substituted with people like I had no idea who they were, or I just didn't expect for them to see the vision. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, from that point, I was doing just Instagram, tweeting things out, Facebook, literally texting individuals, hey, go check out my clothing line. Because I had a website, obviously I have a website now, but I had a website back then as well. Check out my website, tell me what you think. Really just trying to get a feel for if individuals would be even interested. So whatever I could do to get some promotion, I was willing to do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So while being in college and starting a business, it's pretty hard. So what are some things that you did to stay consistent when you were like first starting this entire thing out?
For me personally, it was understanding why. Like they always talk about the why. Like, why is it that, I want to go ahead and start a business? Because I already got my undergraduate degree. I'm going to get my master's degree. So why start a business? Why not, not saying take the easy way out, but why start something from the ground up? But the main thing for me is I have a vision, and this is a movement first, brand second. So my thing is I want to spread the positivity, and this is a way for me to do so. So I would say the main thing for me being 9 months in, I'm starting to kind of reap the benefits of my persistency. But the main thing is being persistent and being inspired, and having that constant motivation. Because the motivation will get you out of bed, but the inspiration will keep you going through the tough times.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, so when you keep going, you run into failures. What's some major failures you had for Course? I know you had some struggles with handling inventory and things like that. What are some major failures that happened throughout it for the past year and a half to 2 years?
For me personally, anytime you start something new, it's going to be weird to the naked eye for those individuals. If you're coming at them with a new product or whatever type of company it is, it's going to be weird. It's going to be like, whoa, this is not the norm. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the adversity for the average person is being, I guess, neglected or being denied. Like, hey, I would say if I send out 100 texts about the brand or hit up 100 people and direct messaging or messaging on Facebook or whatever, what have you, 20% probably hit me back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's having that understanding that, hey, people aren't going to see your vision because it's your vision, and just understanding that you have to stay true to the course. And if I were to allow myself to get discouraged, then I wouldn't be reaping the benefits that I am now.
That's awesome. So throughout that journey, because I know in entrepreneurship, it's really hard for other people to understand, were your family and friends supportive with what you were doing?
For me personally, I'm very fortunate because, my parents, actually my lawyer right now, he's my stepdad. So that's awesome. But yeah, they definitely support the vision, and they've been supporting it since day one. There wasn't no situations like, well, what are you doing? Why would you do that? It was none of that at all. And I'm very grateful that they're supporting it. I also have friends definitely that support the brand, and they see the vision. I mean, most, some don't, some do, but I can't really get caught up in, who really supports and who doesn't support, but it's just an added bonus for those who actually do.
Yeah, I mean, I know Luke Rowell, who's another one of our buddies from high school who went to University of Indianapolis with you. He's been supporting you big time with everything. You guys are working together on a lot of things. And Luke has helped you out a lot too. I know that much. But I know you have you had the failures along the way. It's awesome that your family hasn't stopped you or really asked what are you doing or anything like that. I know you have the new hat coming out, so talk a little bit about that. What made you decide to come out with the hat line too?
Well, the main point is I wanted to, I call it waves. I'm coming out with waves. So the first wave was men and women's t-shirts. I came out with some black ones. I came out with some white ones. And then I moved on to the men and women's crew necks, the unisex crew necks. And these were in black. And then I just decided to why not? The weather's going to break. Dad hats are pretty big, or just caps in general are pretty big. So why not come out with a hat? And so I just decided to do that.
Yeah, I know that actually this is getting released tomorrow. So actually, guys, find it at coursclothing.com. You'll be able to pick up that hat straight out the site, right, starting when this episode drops. How has it been just being able to handle school, getting your master's now, playing football, starting a business? Like, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it in my bachelor's right now. So I'm still in my undergrad handling it. How are you handling it while even doing your master's now? So bigger course load.
It's just really just about that balance, and also having that understanding that, this is what you're doing is bigger than me. It's bigger than just the next person. It's really just about just the world and impacting the world in a positive way. And I have the ability to do so because of the social media and stuff like that and all these different outlets. And it's really just a challenge for me. I could easily say, I just want to go ahead and just drop out of school and, just pursue this dream 110% or whatever, even though I am giving 150% now. But it's just understanding the vision and know that this portion in life right now is just temporarily, and I'm willing to do whatever to accomplish it. So that's kind of what drives me and what keeps me going.
That's awesome. So in the fashion industry, it's very hard and it's very competitive. So did you ever stop yourself from wanting to start a fashion company? Because I know a lot of people, they become hesitant because it's so competitive out there. A lot of people are wanting to start their own fashion lines and fashion clothing. So did you ever have that hesitancy to start your own company?
I would say no. I always kind of compare myself to the top brands like the Gucci's and the Calvin Kleins and just all the top brands in the world. I found that my angle is a little bit different. I'm going towards just the movement side and really just spreading the positivity. And like I told you before, it's a movement first, a brand second. So my focus is really just spreading just the positivity. But also you have to come up with different innovative ways, obviously, to get the message across. And I got to the point where it's just I can't really compare myself to these other brands because I'm not these other brands. I can kind of take bits and pieces from them. But at the end of the day, if you really focus on what everybody else is doing and don't, put that energy into your own business or your own brand, then, you're going to get left on the back burner. So my focus is right now, not discouraged. I'm really just motivated. It motivates me to get up every day and to find different innovative ways to get the message out there and get the brand out there.
And I know, it's really interesting, getting the message out there and things like that. And there's the law of attraction where if you tell people where you're going, they will come to follow. I came to you as well. I'm going to be helping you with different social media techniques, with Facebook ads and things like that. And it's the law of attraction. Have you seen that? Have you seen people come out of the woodwork to come support you in different ways or to come help out in different ways,
Definitely. It's amazing because I really do believe that. I feel like the energy that you put out is ultimately what you're going to get back. I just really feel that, you came out of nowhere. It was crazy. It was wow, this is an aspect of life that I'm not really sure about. This is a pretty much a form that you it's your expertise, not mine. So it's just crazy how you just came out of nowhere. And really, I was looking for some additional help. And I was I don't really know how to do this. It's kind of over my head. I got to focus on this. I got to focus on that. But just the fact that, I put out that energy and kind of left it in God's hands. And here you are. So, yeah, I definitely believe in the law of attraction.
That's awesome. So, Andrew, you kind of touched a base on your why. But what is your main why and a favorite quote that you really live by day to day?
But yeah, my main why is I want to be able to impact the world in a positive way. I feel as if everybody has a course and direction in life. And as long as you believe in that, have the vision, have a plan, and take action with that plan. Because I do feel as if a lot of people really wonder why am I not getting the results? I have the vision, I have this plan, but are you applying the action, to back that up? And that's really what I want to get out to the world, that you can literally do whatever as long as you're applying that positive energy and applying that, to the world. And the quote that I live by is, "You don't know what you don't know." And I really live by that because I don't know everything. I read a lot. I try to acquire knowledge as much as I can. But I'm always open to innovating myself and innovating the brand. And I'm really just trying to acquire knowledge every day. And I'm always open to critique, and whatever that can help me and develop me, I'm willing to do.
And then to finish it up, Andrew, what is your main advice for college entrepreneurs just starting out in either it's fashion or just business in general? And then tell them where they can find you at.
My main advice for you guys is really just follow whatever it is that your vision is. Have a good understanding on what it is that you want to do. There's going to be a lot of tough times. There's going to be a lot of people questioning your motives or whatever it is that you're doing. And the only reason why they question that is because it's outside of the box, it's outside of the norm. And the most people who impact the world are the crazy ones who think that they can actually change the world, And so you just have to always have that vision every day and just instill that in yourself. And as far as contacting me, you guys can contact me at Cours_Clothing.com. That's Instagram. And on Twitter, it's at Cours Clothing. And on Facebook, it's Cours Clothing.
Awesome, Andrew. It's been awesome having you on. It's just been amazing hearing your story coming, where we came from high school to where you're at now. It's just, both of us are just 10 times different people just in general. It's just crazy to think about that. And basically, guys, check out his clothing brand. He has a lot of good, shirts on there that I like, some good graphic tees. You can find that at CoursClothing.com. And he's dropping his new hat line, guys. Go support him. Buy a hat. Buy a shirt, buy something, really help him out, really support him on his, vision to impact the world in a positive way. So once again, find that at CoursClothing.com. You can find us at dr2cr.com, and you can find Saba at sabaali.com, and you can find myself at danieltieman.com. Saba, what are some final words?
Yeah, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. You gave some really great insight to our audience, and you guys connect with him. He has some great, valuable insight on his clothing store. I know I will be because I love fashion in general. But thank you guys for listening this week on Dorm Rooms to Conference Rooms.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Thank
Ryan.
you.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Dorm Rooms to Conference Rooms. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you haven't joined our accelerator program yet, you can find that at livetogrind.com/college, where we connect you with today's latest influencers and experts in their fields.